Coming up, is Furman's new dining service cutting the mustard? We ask the students.
Also, as the flu virus makes its way around campus, find out how you can avoid it.
Later, we'll tell you how you can foster a puppy of your own on campus.
Finally, a Furman senior works a full-time job while being a full-time student. These stories and more coming up on the Nightly News.
3, 2.
The following program is produced by students in the Department of Communication Studies at Furman University.
I'm Sammy Clough.
And I'm Nick Shaw, bringing you the Nightly News. Over the last year, Furman University students have seen a change in their food options on campus. The university switched food service providers in May of 2016. The university now uses Bon Appetit. Olivia Badley reports.
In fall of 2016, Furman University switched their dining services from Aramark to Bon Appetit. Bon Appetit uses food from local farmers in order to serve the freshest food possible and to support local farming efforts. Bon Appetit also receives some produce from the Furman farm here on campus, so students know exactly where their food is coming from. Furman students seem to be reacting positively to the change.
I usually just get my daily chicken and french fries, maybe a slice of pizza, go over and get some ice cream, but I think the food's actually good. It tastes good. It looks a lot more appetizing than it did last year, so I like it. I think it's a good move.
Furman students like the diversity they are seeing in their food choices. Knowing where their food is coming from and knowing they are receiving the freshest, most locally sourced ingredients has made them more aware of what they are eating. Some things new to the dining hall this year are wood-fired pizzas that are made from scratch, as well as a topic bar where students can customize their side dishes.
I think the dining hall is an awesome place because no matter what you're craving, there's always something here. Like if I have a sweet craving, I can go and get some dessert or some fruit, yogurt, or like cereal. And then if I want like an actual meal, there's like 4 or 5 places I can go. I can get a salad if I'm feeling healthy, or pizza if I'm feeling not healthy. It's really, there's very few times where I find myself not eating in the dining hall because there's nothing I want.
Bon Appetit continues to seek student opinions through surveys and focus groups on how they can better improve the overall Furman dining experience. New improvements are to come, such as a coffee shop in the library. But as for now, Furman students seem to really be enjoying their DH experience. This is Olivia Badley with the Nightly News.
The flu is back. As the winter season starts to end, flu season begins. Jasmine Waits reports.
Flu season is in full effect. Since the turn of the year and the beginning of the new semester, there has been a shockingly large amount of cases of the flu on the campus of Furman University. Emma Devaney, a Furman student, caught and conquered the flu.
So Furman sort of went through an epidemic with the flu and everyone on campus got it, but I was the only Furman student who had type B influenza, which is just another one of the most common strains of flu, but it still put me out of school for a while, and it was still pretty hard.
To ensure that you don't have the same experience as Emma, students and professors should do everything they can to avoid getting sick. There are several ways to protect yourself from getting sick. Nurse practitioner and director at the Earl Infirmary, Mary Hazelden, has some suggestions.
Washing your hands, covering your cough, social distancing.
Washing your hands is one of the most effective ways of not getting sick. However, if you do get sick, the infirmary is equipped with everything you need to feel like yourself again. This is Jasmine Waits reporting live for the Nightly News.
Stay healthy this spring and get a flu shot. Want to do science but don't have a PhD?
And some Furman students are seeking the comfort of furry friends. Here's Megan Brophy with our activity segment.
Discoveries are made in astronomy every day, and not just by professionals. Now, Furman students can use NASA data through a new virtual mapping tool to make discoveries of their own. Kayla Wiles reports.
On February 9th, the Astronomy Club hosted a CLP for guest speaker Dr. Pamela Gay, the project director of an online mapping program called CosmoQuest.
So CosmoQuest is what's called a citizen science project. This means that we can't do all the science we're trying to do with the PhD astronomers, the PhD physicists, because there's just too much science. If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes an entire global community to raise our understanding of the universe.
Dr. Gay gave an overview of the history of astronomy, telling the stories of people who used makeshift materials and hobbies to make scientific discoveries.
We need to have not necessarily Google Maps, but NASA maps.
Furman students can continue this tradition through software that works just as well as tools in geophysicist labs, often doing better science than just one professional astronomer.
I think what she really drove home is that you don't have to be a PhD person. You don't even have to be a scientist to help the world and help out those scientists who need it, because frankly, there aren't enough scientists.
Approximately 100 students came to the CLP tonight. Dr. Gay interviewed with BBC immediately following the CLP to comment on new comet sightings. Students can learn more about becoming citizen scientists by visiting cosmoquest.org. This is Kayla Wiles reporting for the Nightly News.
Everyone loves puppies. The Greenville Humane Society makes it easy to spend time with them. Mary Kate Mackin reports.
The Greenville Humane Society encourages Furman students to get involved with puppies in need.
We have a foster program here at the Greenville Humane Society for animals that are sick or need socialization. Fortunately, we have had very kind-hearted Furman students who have come in and have filled out the paperwork for fostering. And if they live in upper class housing only, certainly not freshmen who live in dormitories, but if they live in that kind of a situation and they have the time and the patience and certainly the love to give to a sick animal, we would love it to go out to, and they do, to Furman students and other people, families and couples, individuals, other colleges, you know, that have students who do that. And we, in fact, foster out 2,000 animals a year.
The Humane Society allows individuals to take puppies into separate rooms to see if they're comparable for fostering.
The Greenville Humane Society makes it easy and accessible for Furman students to adopt and foster pets. Come see this beautiful facility for yourself. This is Mary Kate Mackin reporting for the Nightly News.
That's all for activities. Back to you, Sammy.
Post-election curiosity? The Political Science Department has the answers about all things Trump-related. Haley Schultz reports.
On Monday, February 13th, Furman University's Political Science Department put on a CLP called Understanding Support for Trump. Government professor Dr. Philip A. Klinkner of Hamilton College was the lecturer. He presented his research on public support for Trump based on demographic variables. In the wake of our latest election, many Furman students attended to get answers to their own political questions.
I think that our government is pretty inefficient, just in the sense that the past roughly 12 years have been cycles of the Republicans and Democrats just getting back at each other.
I think the polarization in our government is the number one reason why it is inefficient.
Dr. Klinkner presented his polls showing that Trump supporters statistically valued economics and race.
Again, we see that among those who think that there's more discrimination against whites than against blacks, we're supportive of Trump, or those who think there's equal amount against both. Those who think that
students gave their opinions on how the CLP affected them.
I question some of those statistics, especially given the fact that they were random. We don't know where the calls were taken from. I think if you were to ask a lot of those questions in different areas, you'd get a lot of different responses.
I felt that it was significantly biased, and so, yeah.
Thank you, Political Science Department, for hosting this presidential CLP. We'll see how the next 4 years turn out. This is Haley Schultz reporting for the Nightly News.
Political or not, keep getting those CLPs. Up next in sports, the men's basketball regular season comes to an end.
Take me out to the ball game, Paladins. The baseball season is in full swing. Here's Megan Womble with our sports.
Against Wofford, Devin Sibley leads the team in scoring to finish the season. The Furman Paladins will open the Southern Conference basketball tournament on Friday, March the 3rd in Asheville. Furman University baseball hosted University of Dayton Flyers in a series opener. Junior pitcher Will Gaddis opened the season for the Paladins in a game at Latham Stadium. Kate Lewis reports.
This Friday, the Paladin baseball team opened up their season with a 3-day matchup against the University of Dayton Flyers. With 600 fans in attendance for the opening series, the Furman Paladins were able to secure a win for the Friday afternoon game. We had the opportunity to speak with senior pitcher Will Dvorak and junior left-handed pitcher Grant Sherman about what their expectations are for the upcoming season.
Well, I think we're looking forward to basically doing something that we've never done before, and that's go all the way to Omaha because we've got a new coach, new staff, a lot of new things about the program, so why not add that? Opening weekend, it's going to be, I think we'll win all 3 games easily, honestly.
Yeah, it's exciting. A lot of energy under the new head coach and a lot of momentum rolling into today. One thing that we've really struggled with in the past is not having a solid staff, and definitely this year with the combination of 5 or 6 starters and a lot of depth in the bullpen, a lot of returners. It's looking really good, really bright for this year.
Yeah, on paper, I mean, it's the best Furman's ever looked for sure, and then you got guys like Gaddis and Crawford that are just going to kind of be the staple of it all. So.
Southern Conference Pitcher of the Year Will Gaddis threw a solid 6 innings for the opening game and earned his first win of the 2017 season, pitching 59 strikes out of his total 83 pitches. The Paladins are projected to finish 4th in the Southern Conference this year, with their next matchup coming this Tuesday against Presbyterian College.
We wish the Paladins the best this season. This is Kate Lewis signing off with the Nightly News.
That's all for sports. Back to you, Nick.
It's no surprise that Furman students stay busy. Full-time student and employee Vernon Cooper is no exception. Evan Talbert reports.
As a full-time university janitor, 33-year-old Vernon Cooper is more than your typical Furman student. Vernon accepted a custodial job with Furman 6 years ago after learning from a friend that full-time university employees receive free tuition.
So I like to make the joke that custodians aren't the best paid people in the world, but I might be the best paid custodian in the world if you had $60,000 of tuition on top of what I make.
Vernon works hard to balance his work schedule with his class schedule. He admits that relating with professors, students, and coworkers can be difficult because of his unique position. The Inside Furman magazine recently published a story about Vernon, helping give students and staff a better understanding of his experience here.
Well, when I first met him, I had no idea he was a janitor, and I thought he was just an older student, and I thought that was admirable at first. And then I found out a lot about his story, some things just from people around and then from him, and I thought it was a really cool situation.
Vernon says his education at Furman will help him in his next step. He plans to pursue a Master's of Divinity degree after graduation.
Furman has been great to me. It really has. The good times far outweigh the bad. And to make that statement a little bit more profound, I have to point out that I have to scrub toilets every night, right? And I can still say that. I can still say that this has been incredibly beneficial.
Right now, Vernon spends a lot of his time in John's Hall. During the day, he takes classes, and at night, he cleans. Tonight, he'll be cleaning until 11 and then go home and hopefully get a good night's rest before coming back for classes tomorrow morning. I'm Evan Talbert, reporting for the Nightly News.
Vernon is a member of this year's graduating class. That's all for the news this week.
Join us next time on the Nightly News.
When I had once or twice